We noticed one thing that you had tweeted recently that certainly stood out. If we could bring that up, you tweeted, electability is a myth. I believe that's 11 times. So when I tweet things like that, there's usually something specific on my mind. So tell me, what were you getting at with that tweet?
Well, electability is a myth because for so long we've been socially conditioned into thinking that typically it's pale, stale, and often male are folks that are the most electable, especially in the South. But that's truly changed after we saw 2018 happen. We elected some of the most diverse candidates to Congress ever, more women more than ever, and it has shown that people from different faiths, different cultures are electable, and not only that if you can run on progressive values and be electable all over the country.
It's interesting because at a different level, at the presidential level, one thing that I've noticed, and I have to admit my bias, I endorse Bernie Sanders, but when you ask people who support Joe Biden, who's currently leading the race, he's been leading for many months, what makes them support him, a large percentage say because they believe that he can beat Donald Trump. When the media covers Joe Biden, they say, well, he's the most electable. So then people watching hear that he's the most electable and then say that they will support him because he's the most electable. So he's in first, which is why the media says it. It's this interesting cyclical thing. And so what I'm wondering, when you talk about electability being a myth, there's a media component to it. There's a DNC, DCCC component to it. To what extent do you think that the media is responsible for shaping the sorts of candidates that people think can win in different parts of the country, including your district?
Oh, I definitely think the media has a hand in it. It is a vicious cycle. People keep saying that Joe Biden, he's familiar, he's the candidate that everyone will vote for, that can beat Donald Trump. I don't think that's true. I mean, we need candidates that truly see the electorate at large. Candidates like Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren have been communicating with diverse minorities all over the country, and I feel like I've seen more and more of these communities come out for these candidates, and including my district as well. When I first started to campaign, a lot of people told me that no one's going to vote for you or you shouldn't run for office. But I think it's important to run for office and make sure that we have more diverse candidates who are talking about progressive policies that are going to effectuate real change in their communities. And I have found that since I've started this campaign, a lot of people have been inspired, and it is hard to break through the media, and it's important that we just keep speaking up and pushing.
One other small change, at least, to your current election is that one of the Republicans who had been running dropped out to run in the 6th district and cited the position of one of the candidates in that race on impeachment, being in favor of impeachment, saying that that's not representative. There's been a lot of concern from the media and from the heads of the Democratic Party that the position on impeachment that a candidate has could be affecting their chance of getting elected. Have you noticed in your race, has impeachment been a big part of what people have been talking to you in town halls and when you're campaigning? Does it seem to be affecting your race much?
Of course. Look, I think people elected, we won the majority last year because we wanted to hold Donald Trump accountable. Nobody likes Donald Trump, especially in my district. And they have talked about impeachment and how they want him impeached and removed from office. And so it's been a big issue because they want to see that we are holding him accountable. And they have supported me when I first came out for impeachment way back in May. And so it's been a big issue on the campaign trail.
Okay, and Nabilah, where can people find out more about your candidacy?
They can go to NabilahForCongress.com. We have less than 48 hours before we hit our end of quarter deadline. So if anyone would like to make a small contribution, you can do so at NabilahForCongress.com, or you can check me out on Twitter at NabilahForGeorgia7 or on Instagram as well.
Nabilah Islam, candidate in 7th District of Georgia. Thank you once again for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me again. Take care.
Thank you for watching this clip from the Damage Report. For more content from the show and access to TYT Network members-only exclusives, go to tyt.com/Brooke. Wait, no, it's tyt.com/John. Go to tyt.com/John to sign up.